Although our form is now fully functional, it's still a little dull, so let's add some style to the form using CSS. If you want to follow along, please start by opening the file TPA Saturn, which you'll find in the Lesson 20 folder. Firstly, we'll create a rule for the form controls input, text area, and select. Here's what that looks like. This rule will apply a 1-pixel solid black border around the text fields, input and text area, as well as the drop-down menu, select. In addition, we're also reducing the top margin by 5 pixels. Next, we will create a CSS rule for the focus state of the input elements. Defining this rule will enable us to create a style that will only be displayed when a site visitor clicks inside the form controls. In this form, when a user clicks inside the text fields and enters text, we will paint the text red and increase the font weight to bold. First, we'll add the selector with the focus state. Now, we'll insert the declarations. Next, we'll style the label element. Because the label is not wrapped around the form control, we float this to the left and then align the text to the right within that floated width. The clear left declaration is used to stop the float property from extending to the next line. Now we'll add another rule that will specifically target just the checkbox form controls. Here's what that rule looks like. The square brackets indicate an attribute selector that targets just the attribute checkbox in the tag. The inclusion of the field set and legend tags now enables us to create some very distinctive styles, starting with the field set element. The first 2 declarations are pretty straightforward. They apply a background color, in this case a light pink, and add 15 pixels of margin at the bottom of the field set element. The next 3, however, deserve further explanation. WebKit is an Apple Safari only property which enables Safari to create rounded corners. Moz Border Radius is a Mozilla Firefox only property which does exactly the same for Firefox. The last declaration includes the CSS3 property Border Radius, which at the time this tutorial was created is still in the formation phase. At this point, it is best to include all 3 declarations for backward and forward compatibility. The final CSS rule we will add is for the legend element. As with the field set, we are also using all 3 border radius properties. Okay, we're done. Let's switch back to Firefox. Here in the browser, you can now see the CSS-styled form in action, including the text input focus state. Lastly, we'll switch to Internet Explorer, which currently does not support the border radius property. Here you can see the way that Internet Explorer renders our form.